talk about it. Let's talk about it. You know, we got a very, very special guest tonight, man. Hey, I I I don't even know how to introduce this guy, man. He means so much to me, man. He taught me so much, about the music, and what I'm saying, just me watching him walk in his life in general, you know what I'm saying. So, but we got Mr. LeVonne Johnson Jr. here, man. He's the coordinator of media services at Ebenezer Baptist Church. I mean, I could be introducing this man all day, man. So we just gonna get into it, man. I mean, I've been waiting on this moment, man. It's been a while since we really rapped and kicked it. But how you doing today, brother?
True. Man, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for the introduction, man. I appreciate that, man.
Hey,
Make me feel good, man. Make me feel good.
Hey,
Hey, man. So, man, I appreciate y'all having me on the show, man. Taylor, Green, man, we go back, man, and I really appreciate it, man. The only thing you want to do in life, man, is just share knowledge, man. And so I'm glad that the knowledge I was able to share, y'all able to pick up and, and use it to your advantage, man. Appreciate that.
I tell you what, it didn't go in vain, bro. I tell you that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
Your work paid off in a whole lot of different ways, man. I mean, speaking of your works, man, it just seemed like I'm not the only person to acknowledge, what I'm saying, your hard work and your dedication, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you just seem to just climb up and you always on the go. And I was around, when you was at a low point where things, wasn't going your way, man, but you always stayed positive and you always, kept your head up, man.
Definitely, always.
I mean, it's just about perspective, you wanna just, keep your head up, man. Cause life ain't fair, man. We all know that life ain't fair, but you got to find a way to live it in a way that kind of keep that stress up off you, I mean, you see people that, went to high school with, and then you see them like, 5-10 years later, they look, 10-20 years older, it's like, you can see the stress on them. So I was like, I try to put myself in a way and in a space where even if things came that weren't unexpected, not my way, knock me down, I still try to find a way to make it positive. And I would pour my energy into things that made me happy so that those things that, made me sad, it balanced out, try to keep it even. Because, real talk, man, I was Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk, man. I was, you know what I'm saying? But I just try to keep that Hulk side down because it benefits nobody, It benefits nobody. So,
that's right.
And luckily, even at that time, I was able to, really, concentrate into music. I could really pour myself into music and, that's my passion. So it helped bring me through,
So let me ask you this. How did you end up being the media coordinator? I mean, because Ebenezer Baptist Church, it's not a real small, church. I never been there, but I've heard a few people that been there. So
right.
It's a very historic church.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like,
it's one of the first Black Baptist churches in the city of Richmond. And a lot of things came out of that church, out of Ebenezer, whether it was, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, whether it was civic organizations. And I don't want to quote myself as being wrong there, but I think Virginia Union, they have a strong affiliation with Ebenezer Baptist Church too. Back in that time, the church was really centered around the Black community,
Yeah.
So, Ebenezer has a long and rich history,
Yes,
but the way that I got into it, I was a member. I was baptized at the age of 13 at Ebenezer. And, so I continued to go to church throughout high school, went away to college, came back.
So hold up, back up a little bit. So you said you was going at 13. So that was your parents' church.
Yeah, my dad was a member of the church. Right.
Okay.
Dad was a member of the church. So, of course, take the wife and kids as well,
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I decided, to join church at age 13. And so, went there throughout high school, made some great friendships that I still have today at the church with the, kids my age there. Went away to school.
Can I interject real quick?
Yes, sir.
Is that where you found your love, your passion for music? Is that where it started from the church?
No, no. Actually, I got that from high school. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll tell you about that
continue.
after this one. Yeah. So So went to college, and in college I was able to see a different side of spirituality in church, because in college you have you have different backgrounds coming together. It's just not the people in your neighborhood or the people in your city. It's people from all over the country coming together, and it was way different from what I experienced at my church. So when I went back to my church, I saw things in a different light, not as far as the spirituality part, but just as on the administrative end. So I kind of stepped away for a long time, for a lot of years. But I will still, visit church every so often, And 2 years ago, they were, well, let's say this, they will always call me for like IT questions, because I'm into IT. So they'll always call me the IT questions. So I would go in and help them with their IT systems, things like that. But 2 years ago, they called me and they said, hey, look, we got a new pastor coming in. He's, a young guy, and he wants to move the church forward using technology as one of the, vehicles to move the church forward. I said, okay. So, I talked with the pastor. We had a real frank conversation. I really told him how, I felt about, things that I saw, my experiences, so on and so forth. And he said, okay, well, I'm looking to change that, and one of the ways I want to do that is with this. And the thing he wanted to do was to expand the media services department. At the time, it was called the AV group, AV department, right?
Audio visual. Right?
Yeah, audio visual, good old audio visual, man. So he said, what can we do to kind of step things up, get us in the 21st, 22nd century? And so I told him, and he was like, okay, well, look, how much you think it's going to cost? And I was like, it's going to cost this amount, And he said, okay. He said, well, I'm going to meet with the board and members of the church, and, I'll let you know. Yeah. So he called me back and said, hey, got a green light,
Boom.
And for that, I was like, I was, excited, because then I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do before,
Yeah, you can put your own creativity
exactly. So I went on and did that. I was able to put in some new equipment that moved the church forward into 21st and 22nd century. I don't even know how you call it
is now,
but
right?
anyway, yeah. But we're able to put that into play, and we've been doing that for the past 2 years. We started off, and this is all because of COVID. So we started off doing taped services. So we will tape on Thursday, and the choir, we'll tape the choirs on Tuesday, or the musicians on Tuesday. We'll tape the pastor doing his sermon on Thursday. I will edit the video. We'll get it proofed, and then post it on YouTube, and it'll be available for Sunday service. And we did that for about a good year and a half almost.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we just went back live on December of last year. So now we're doing live services, going straight through YouTube with the technology we got. And and in that process, we were able to do two things. Number one, we were able to kind of break some old traditions that we had at Ebenezer, because of the historic, nature, and a lot of the members were, generational
hold on to those. Yeah.
So we were able to kind of break some of those things, and bring in some new technology. But then we were able to put the proof right in front of, the members, and show them like, hey, look, you know,
it's working.
Real benefit. Yeah,
right.
this is really good. And we've been getting a lot of great reviews. And it's not just from our church members, but we've been able to reach people, you know, in other areas around the world, because, you know, YouTube is worldwide.
Hey man, I know anything you put together is gonna be smashing. So you know,
man, thank you.
I'm about to go look up Ebenezer right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so you know, it's the media services group is a 2-person operation. It's me and and my partner in crime. Her name is Sharon Jefferson. And she keep me on track, man. She's like another mother. But we handle it, you know. I mainly do the camera operations and she does the audio side. Sometimes we flip-flop, but that's just to keep everybody's you know, skill level up. And you know, I think we do a pretty good job of what we're doing, man. And you know, we're not making like big leaps and bounds where we're just, you know, one day it's camera phone, you know, service. Next day is, you know, is we're gonna be on channel 12. It's not like that. It's just something that we're doing where we're taking, you know, I would say calculated steps so that we get everybody who is watching us comfortable with seeing slight changes, not, you know, great grand changes.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
Right. So, you know, it's you know, it's giving me the opportunity to be creative in the church, which I think is important. For me anyway, because
but let me ask. Well, I'm gonna let you finish your thought first, because I don't want you to let slip your mind with you.
All right, no problem. So it's giving me an opportunity to be creative. You know, and I think that's a very important thing because everybody worships differently. You know, you got some people who just want to come hear the word. You know, some people who just want to enjoy the music. Some people who, you know, want to be a part of the service. You know, and my way of being a part of the service is being in the background. You know, I don't want to be on the pulpit. I don't want to be, you know, on camera too much. You know, I can be in the background, you know, and I can still do what I love to do, which is create, but also I can take in the word as well, you know, and learn and, you know, just, you know,
and this why
catch the word, catch the education.
And this is why I've been sitting here itching to ask you this question, man. I mean, like, do you see yourself like working with an artist, not necessarily even in your church per se, but more than likely in your church, if that would be the case? Because, you know, me, I know your creativity and your passion, you know what I'm saying, and you relate to people well. Like, you never thought about like working with an artist and putting together something to you know, I mean, because it still will ultimately benefit, you know, the church, and you know what I'm saying, because naturally the church will be behind it.
So are you meaning like like do something musically within the church?
No, like create a maybe an EP or something.
Yeah. So what we did even before we got the new equipment, before COVID, about 3 years ago, I wanted to kind of put the idea out there that, you know, you could use your resources that you have at the church for more than just archiving church services. Because really that's what your media group is. Your media group, it helps you to project your church service by way of the members that are at the church, but also it helps you archive your church services so that you can use those services for whatever reason, you know, down the line in the future, whatever. And Ebenezer has a very, very huge catalog of services that we've recorded. And I mean, you can see the recordings from old reel-to-reel tapes to, I think we had some 8-track tapes to some, you know, DVD, VCR tapes to where we're at now, where we're all digital. Right. So we've had all those mediums. And so we have a huge catalog. But now we can be more enterprising in the fact that we can possibly do those things where we can, you know, create a little EP. So about 3 years ago, before we put the equipment in, before COVID, before all that, one of the choir directors, the children's choir director, came to me and said, "Hey, look, I want to do this EP for a family member who was gravely ill, but she was able to enlist the choir at the church to, you know, sing about, I think it was 6 or 7 songs. And we recorded these songs, and we recorded these songs with my mobile recording setup that I have. So I was able to record the choir, record drums, record organ, record piano, all at one time, mix it down, you know, and hand it to the lady. And I did this all, you know, just out of the love of wanting to record, you know, because, you know, I hadn't really recorded in a while, and it just felt great to get back into that creative space. So I showed them that with just a small setup. I mean, I had like, you know, a couple preamps. I had my interface, you know, I had my laptop, my MIDI controller and all that. And we did all of that just with that small piece. So I told them, once we got the equipment in and they saw how big it was and what we could do, I said, imagine what we could do now, you know? So to your question, yes, we've talked about it, but because of COVID, because of the limitations we have, it's kind of hard to get, you know, everybody back together in a space like that. With it being in a controlled environment, because, you know, with recording, you want to kind of keep things in a confined space. You don't want to have gaps everywhere. You know, you want to have people standing 6 feet apart. It kind of throws off, you know, the sound when you're recording. So, so what we want to do down the line is, once we kind of get past, you know, COVID, is to explore that more, so that we can, you know, we can definitely, you know, spread the word more, you know, and honestly, on it, from a business standpoint, it's a great way to kind of generate revenue, because, you know, churches are like businesses. So, real, you know, and that's the truth about it. Yeah, they have to pay everything but taxes in most cases. So
because the building need lights and water, bro. That's the first, you know.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so like, you gotta pay the bills, and
constant maintenance. You gotta have people there. Yep.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. So you know, so yeah, I have talked to them, and I, you know, and not only that, but incorporating the children into it as well.
Yeah.
So for example, what we do is
teaching them the business side. The side.
Well, no, not necessarily the business side, but just the
but just what
side.
you're doing in general.
So whenever you know, if we have, like, for example, if we had one of the deacons come to the church and they had their grandchildren, right? Instead of just having their grandchildren just sitting there at the church, just, you know, while we're recording, looking bored, I say, hey, y'all want to come up here and see what we do?
Exactly.
You know, they get a chance to look at computer screens and grab the mouse and keyboard. They get to touch faders and stuff, you know, see how things work, move cameras around. And they're like,
piquing their interest, man.
But now, take yourself back into their shoes, right? How important that really is. Like, that's God for real.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the most important, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
you know,
most important.
It's minor to us,
I remember,
really.
Yeah, but I remember when I was 13 to 14, you know, I was taking piano lessons and things like that. And I had a couple kids at the church who was taking piano lessons too, right? So we would, after church, we meet up at the piano. You know what I'm saying? And we'll kind of battle it out on whatever song we were working on, you know what I'm saying? Or ideas we had, you know, and then the deacons come chase us off the piano, you know, we just run around, come back around, do it again, you know, and so that, you know, that gave us confidence, you know, that gave us confidence in playing in front of people, you know, and it wasn't necessarily we were playing in front of
like being in a cipher, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And so, you know, we did that, and you know, it kind of helped, you know, with that, like I said, our confidence and our skill level, you know.
And that just really like self-confidence in general, like not even, you know, you building that unconsciously for real, you know.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, so going back to your question about the you know, my love for the music. So my church, Ebenezer, is very traditional. Okay, so we don't necessarily sing contemporary gospel a lot, and we're more of a they call it high church. So you have songs, hymnals. We go from we sing hymns, versus
hymns.
conventional songs, right? So we do
they
have
still got them hymn books.
Yeah, we still have those, and the
39.
choir sings from.
Yeah,
we actually have a music library where we have music available. But one of the things that makes Ebenezer unique though is that we use the organ as the main instrument. So what I mean by that is before, like let's say back in the 90s, when the choir was singing, it would just be the organ and the choir, right? Or the organ and piano in the choir, or the piano in the choir.
Right.
Now we've moved to a point where we have, the organ, and the organ can be accompanied with the piano, with drums,
guitar,
so
bass.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So we've moved past the ultra traditional, but we still keep it traditional in the sense that we use the organ as a main instrument. A lot of times when you listen to gospel music, the organ would be like a background instrument. Piano is the main instrument. But we use the organ. We can get into that contemporary field. We have a choir, our youth choir, a young adult choir. I'm sorry, a young adult choir is more contemporary, and they sing, and it's a trio or sometimes it's a quartet, and that's only because of COVID, because of limited numbers. But they are able to to scratch that itch, so to speak, for people who love contemporary gospel. And then you still get that traditional choir, which is our main choir. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so we get a bit of both at Ebenezer, and I think that's a good thing, because you kind of you hold on to tradition. You're not necessarily letting it go. You're holding on to your traditions, but you're incorporating, current
keeping with the times as well.
Yeah, you keep with the times. Exactly.
Yeah.
So but Ebenezer helped me in that aspect. But going back to your question about the what solidified my love for music, and that's a very, very, very close story to me. So high school, I met a guy who's our band director. His name is Bill McGee.
Bill McGee.
Dollar Bill. Now at the time he wasn't Dollar Bill. He was just Mr. McGee.
Right.
But Mr. McGee, he was the first one to ever put me in a position to actually understand music, actually learn it in a way that connected with me. I was taking piano lessons, and that's cool because that was a classical element. But he showed me how to listen to music, how to break down R&B music, how to break down any kind of music, how to hear chords, how to hear specific instruments, how to really listen to music, so that I could go and I could remake a song. And from that point on, once I learned how to do that, it was a wrap. Because once you learn how to make listen to a song, and you learn how to make a song, right?
It's crazy because I'm visualizing him, giving this to you, because I'm visualizing how I watch you orchestrate songs. I watch you take a female with not the greatest voice, and you say it like this. One night, and I gotta say this, man. One night, man, I was doing a song, and you was trying to get the harmony right. You know what I'm saying? And you was looking around in the studio. You didn't care who said it. You was like, look, you then after a while, you was like, you know what, I'll do it. And you went up and you were like, oh.
Don't worry about it. I got it.
But look, man, but now I gotta let the world know he's not a singer. He can't sing a stroke. You know what I'm saying? But he knew the tone that he needed, and it blended straight in, man.
He looking
around like, you want, you know what? I got it. Yeah, but hey, that's look.
He went from LeVonne to LJ in that moment.
Hey, but look,
he turned into LJ. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell y'all why though.
Hey, no, I gotta say this first before you say that, bro. Because I ain't want to say this because of your position. But world, man, we call this man Lord Jesus, man.
Man, I forgot about that, man.
That's how nice he is with it.
His name
was crazy, man.
His name is LeVonne
but you know
Johnson, LJ. But the LJ to us, it stands for Lord Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't want to say that.
Ain't gonna lie. Hey, yo, that joint, that used to, yo, for real, man. That right there was the ultimate compliment. I was like, yo, he called me Lord Jesus, dog.
Yeah, man, hey, bro, like
I'm doing what I love.
And that's why, hey, but bro, that's why I ain't mean to cut you off with, but that's why I jumped in when you was talking about Mr. McGee.
Good.
Because I knew the importance of Mr. McGee and you, and with the Super Friends, Mad Skills and them, or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew, I never really met him. Like, I knew him even through school, like, you know, because he was a band teacher, stuff like that. But I knew how important this dude was, and to hear you, you know, speak on it, and then I just see it coming out of you, like, it's crazy, bro. But my bad, I'm just going to
no, man, no. It was Dollar, you know, Miss McGee, you know, put me in front of people who at that time I was really looking up to, and I was aspiring to be like.
That was at Armstrong?
No, they went to Kennedy. See, he was Kennedy. Kennedy. Okay. That's how
he was.
Yeah.
Kennedy, yeah.
Okay.
And what's funny is I was zoned to go to Armstrong, right? But I forgot what happened. My mom was like, no. My mom was like, "You going to Kennedy?" Because at the time we had the magnet program. So she's like,
"Yeah, okay."
Kennedy. And I was like, "I don't want to go to Kennedy." She's like, "You going to Kennedy?" And we going to the open house today. And I was like, "I don't want to go to open house. No, blah. I want to go there." So we go there, and we were in the gym. They had like a setup of all the different clubs and activities that Kennedy had at the time. And when I walked in, first thing I zeroed in on was a keyboard.
That was the first thought in my head.
Yeah, Mr. McGee had set up
a keyboard.
A sampler keyboard. Sonic, I forgot the name of the model, but it was the Sonic keyboard. And I walked over to there, and I hit the button, and the sample played. I hit the keyboard key, sample played, and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy." You know what I'm saying? And that was the first time I saw a pro grade keyboard. And and for the people that don't know, a consumer grade keyboard is a keyboard that got speakers on the side of that joint. So if you got a keyboard and your joint got speakers on the side, and you got little buttons for each little sound,
you might well get into your child.
Yeah, exactly. A pro grade keyboard, you need some cables for. You got to hook that joint up to some type of amplification, you know. And so that was the first time I saw that, and I was like, man, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? So, so it was a Friday night. So I went in there, I saw the keyboard, mind blown. Then, I go and I see the band. Now I've seen the band before because in the 8th grade I played for Armstrong. So I've seen Kennedy's band before. So I'm like, I'm gonna go up and introduce myself.
Kennedy had a bad band too, though.
They did. Crazy.
They did,
crazy.
Bro. Yeah, they
crazy. So I go up to Mr. McGee and I was like, "How you doing, Mr. McGee? I want to play in your band." He was like, "What instrument do you play, son?" And I said, "I play clarinet." He said, "Son, boys don't play woodwind in my band." He said that joint, and I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? In that conversation. First day of school.
What you want me to play?
Right. Yeah. First day of school, I go to him, and he's like, "Here you go, son." He hands me this instrument I ain't never seen before. It's an F horn. It's just like a marching French horn. All right. So he gives me this F horn, and I'm playing this joint. But 3 weeks in, I get braces. It's a small mouthpiece. 3 weeks in, I get braces, right? He's like, "Son, you can still play that. It's okay." And I was like, "I can't." He was like, "Son, there's a boy in the band right now got braces playing trumpet. So that's an even smaller mouthpiece." He said, "If he can play it, you can play it."
Right.
So I was like, okay. So I'm just so he's just tough love putting in that energy, in you. So I learned that instrument, got pretty good with it. Concert band came around. He was like, "Son, I need another trombone player." Yeah, you go from fingerings 3 fingers to now learning how to work a slide.
Yeah.
Son, you can do that. This man put me in the band room after school with sheet music that showed me what positions on the slide for the trombone.
Yeah.
And left. Man came back like an hour and a half later. Show me what you got. I'm playing scales. You know what I'm saying? And exciting, put in that passion. Right?
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
And in the freshman year, he like, son, I need a tuba player. Well, I done learned how to play French horn.
Mr. McGee.
Yeah, I learned how to play trombone.
Hey, dollar bill, man.
I could do that. Yeah. And he was that type of guy. He would put stuff in front of you and say, learn it.
That's his genius because he saw it in you.
Yeah.
He knew you could play all the instruments. You know what I'm saying?
No, it won't just me, man.
I'm
in the list. I'm in the long.
Like I told you, bro. I never had a personal encounter with Dollar Bill, but I know how powerful Dollar Bill was.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Man. Yes.
Same thing with Powell, Mr. Powell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mr. Powell. Yeah, Mr. Powell was tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what made, just look at those 2 guys right there. Those 2 guys were able to impact people. Now Powell did it on the athletic side. He did it on the dance side, on the creative side.
Dance, he had a dance team. Yep.
And Miss McGee saw that too. And that's why one of the reasons why our talent shows that we used to have were so fire.
Yeah, bro. Kennedy,
that's why they were so fire, because he was able to bring in, Powell dancers to come be background dancers for, for the talent that was performing.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Then Johnny, Poo and Fofo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went to Armstrong, but Kennedy cheerleaders used to be so fire.
Man.
Hey, bro, Kennedy, bro. It's just crazy that in sports, the Kennedy didn't win, but the reason why, because it was split up. Like all the kids that go to like a school like LC Bird and all that, like we went to Armstrong, and then everybody went to Kennedy. But for some reason, like, so that's why like we couldn't compete from a sports level. If we was together, you already know, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. What?
Yeah, we'd have been. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, like our band and Armstrong, bro, like we barely look. Our band was so bad. You know what I mean? Because we always missing something. Right. I wanted to go jump up in that jam. But for some reason, somehow, Kennedy kept that band right, bro. They ain't win a lot of games.
Nope.
But they kept that band
always on point.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Mr. McGee he used to joke with us with is, he would say stuff like, did you see the what was it called? I think it was called the Freedom Classic. No, not the Freedom Classic. Where they had Grambling and Southern playing every year.
I think that is the Freedom Class.
And so he'll be like, the announcers will be like, halftime, they'll be like, the game's not that great, but the bands,
Oh yeah, Grambling and Southern had some beast bands, bro.
Yeah. Right, yeah. And so he was able to put us in, and actually show us these things and be like, even though we high school students, he made us feel like we could compete with college bands.
Yeah.
That's what his mindset was at. Because not only did he arranged music for other schools too. So he arranged music for other colleges and universities, especially HBCUs. So we would be playing the same stuff that they were playing. So like one year, and I don't know if you really listen to the song, you'll really see how difficult this song is to play. But "I'm Your Baby Tonight" by Whitney Houston. That was my sophomore year. Sophomore year, the CIAA had the championship in Richmond, because Union was playing it in the championship game. I forgot against who, but they had an all CIAA band, which was all the schools that were in the CIAA sent a few of their best musicians to come play in this massive band. Wow. One of the songs they played was from Miss McGee's arrangement of "I'm Your Baby Tonight."
I'm your baby tonight.
Yeah. So he was like, they coming to Kennedy to practice. I'm giving y'all this music. I want y'all to show them what we can do.
Right.
So all day at school, we hear the band CIAA band practicing. They inside the building, outside on the field. You can hear it throughout the entire school.
Yeah.
Right? All day long. So I'm like, I'm in heaven. I can't focus on nothing.
Can't wait.
I'm like, man, I can't wait to get down to the band room. You know what I'm saying? Grab my tuba, put it on. And he was like, yo, okay, here we go. And some of the members from the band, from the CIAA band came in. And we played that joint. They was like, y'all cold. Y'all cold. You know what I'm saying? And it's not an easy song to play. If you listen to it, listen to the bass line, how the bass line moves. He wrote it like the bass line moves. It wasn't cheap. Yeah.
Let's talk about
that song
it, man.
Ain't easy. Yeah. And so he put that in us. So wherever we went, we had that edge.
Hey, I see we running very, very, very short on time, though. No, hey, cause look, hey, man, this was beautiful, man. I'm enjoying myself. I mean, hey, we could do a part 2, 3, 4 on this, man. You already know. I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this is all right, man. Hey, LeVonne Johnson Jr, man.
Appreciate it, man. And let me say this too, man. Let me say this too, man. Shout out to Danger Mouth too.
And all my people say,
great. You, Rail Street.
And all my people say, and all my people say, and all my people say, and all my people say,
Look, this is man from Virginia, y'all know it. The poet is gonna give back because he owe it. And I don't show it, but I do catch feelings. I really wanna know, why do you catch feelings? It's revealed that my heart needs healing. From the past was down there on top of the ceiling. And I ain't concealing how I be living. Khaleesi and my daughters won't be having me driven. To the point where I ain't giving a fuck about the next man is playing or what he's saying. The focus is on the mind, I gotta get mine. I used to walk in the blind and stayed in the bind. In time I shine, but God's design. But everyday struggle got G on the bubble. I'm trying to find and check the sign. But when you're stuck in the gutter, there's nothing but trouble.
You ain't gon' be nothing. You just like them niggas you be rolling with.
and all my people say,
you ain't got no future. You ain't gon' get money. Let you sling it red.
and all my people say,